What's up, everyone? It is Brody Gilbler and Brendan Everly on the Oregon Ducks Live for the Voice of College Football. Today, we're going to be breaking down Indiana and Oregon in the college football semifinals at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. So, yeah, ready to get into it, Brendan?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we also have no Bjorn again today. He is
Mm-hmm.
still very ill. Hopefully, he gets better soon. Hopefully, we
I don't
can.
know why you're saying unfortunately, but yeah, here we go. All right, so biggest news out of Oregon Ducks right now is our, I should say, lack of depth and just overall running backs that we have at our disposal right now. Davison, our starting running back 1A, 1B with Noah Whittington is out with a broken collarbone. Whittington himself, our 1B of that punch, is listed as questionable on the latest injury report. Jaden Lamar and many others are hopping in the portal. So we have three scholarship running backs on the roster with Jay Harris coming back. So does this worry you at all, Brendan? And how you feeling?
It's definitely something to be worried about. I mean, losing Davison is a big loss for us, but I think realistically, it's not the worst case scenario for us. It's not like we're losing Dante Moore or even Malik Benson at this point would be a bigger loss. Running back one of those positions where we have a lot of depth. Davison was good this year, but he wasn't like, oh my god, this guy is just can't miss football. Like, he's been great. And the thing is we still have Whittington will still play, and Deer Hill is going to have a legacy game. Deer Hill is he's a beast. I'm excited to see him actually get some more touches, but we will see what happens. Oh, Brady, you want to comment on that? Do you know?
Noah Whittington was listed as questionable on the latest injury report. I don't know if anything has come out about what specifically the injury is. Have you heard anything, Brendan?
I'll see what I can figure out.
So he's listed as questionable. Davison is officially out, so it's looking like Hill, Deer Hill, and Jay Harris are going to be our only two healthy running backs. Originally, Jay Harris hopped in the portal. He was a Division II All-American during his sophomore season before he transferred up to Oregon. He's 6'2", 224 pounds, went to Northwest Missouri State, and he was looking to hop in the portal again this year to get an opportunity with obviously our two good freshman running backs, finding a lot of success, so he wasn't seeing a lot of carries in his future, but he is staying for at least this next game. So,
yeah, no, I couldn't find anything on Noah Whittington. I would imagine it's just a precautionary thing. From what I can tell, he's going to play, but it's just something. I mean, honestly, it could be something to mess with. The Indiana Hoosiers. Like, who knows? Dan is he's very cerebral when it comes to his injury reports. I mean, with good old what's his name, Evan Stewart, for a long time was the whole thing. With is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Whatever. But no, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too big of an issue. And even if it is an issue, Jay Harris, he's a beast. I've been kind of on the ropes with him, but he at least packs a punch as a running back. And Deer Hill is an explosive guy who, with a lot of carries and a lot of touches, can definitely pop off some big runs, some big receptions. I mean, he's played great. So
yeah. Shout out Carson Beck, enjoyer. That is a wild PFP. But yeah, we're noticing you. Don't worry. We will talk about the SEC in a second. But I do want to say Deer Hill, mainly a running back, outside runs, pin and pull tosses, just outside zone. A lot of these outside concepts. We haven't seen him run in between the tackles as much as where we saw the most success versus Indiana last time, with Davison averaging 7.1, I believe, yards per carry, with predominantly those being within the two tackles. And him and Whittington are really our better backs at hitting those creases while running gap schemes. So it does worry me a little bit more than I feel like it's worrying Brendan that Davison's out, because I just feel like his vision, his contact balance in between the tackles is far and away the best that we have on the roster. Whittington's not that big of a downgrade, but Deer Hill is young, and he really has only seen real success on these outside runs that Indiana was very good at sniffing out the first game, and I would prefer to game plan in between the tackles a little bit more.
I mean, yes, to that point, I can agree. But at the same time, like Davison has been great this year, but like Deer Hill can be utilized more as a weapon. He can definitely pop some big runs through the middle. And realistically, at this point, it's just going to be a matchup between our O line and their D line. And I think realistically, after playing against Texas Tech last week, which had a much better defensive line, our O line should go out there and definitely put in some work. So yes, it's a loss, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. Like Deer Hill truly is an electric player, and also the fact that we're playing indoors and it's Will Stein loves to run his little screen passes and stuff. Like Deer Hill is the kind of guy that you can have those little screen passes and be explosive with those plays, which that can really affect the game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Deer Hill is a very good athlete. I am excited to see what he can do with more of a full workload. In other news, Miami taking down Ole Miss, coming down to the very end. I don't really know how to say that, but Mr. Shadow is talking about how the SEC has had 5 teams make the playoffs, and none of them will be playing for the title, and talking about how broken the system is. I've been me and Brennan are avid SEC haters. I don't think Oklahoma nor Alabama should have been in the playoffs. I think Notre Dame, arguably BYU, I know Brennan doesn't agree on that, deserved it. I think they at least deserved it. I don't think they're better teams, but I think Notre Dame's better.
Notre Dame's definitely a better team, but
they deserved it more. And it does really suck because, I mean, the SEC, their only 2 wins in the playoffs were against SEC opponents, with Alabama beating a very poor form Oklahoma team and Ole Miss beating Georgia, and Alabama getting absolutely boat raced by a real conference like the Big Ten and Indiana in the Rose Bowl. So what's your opinion on this, Brendan? I haven't heard you talk about this in a minute.
No, I mean, it kind of really goes to show. I mean, the SEC really struggled in bowl games, and for just meaning more in the SEC, we didn't really see that. I'm gonna pull up here the SEC bowl records, just because I am kind of curious, like to how they performed. The SEC went 4-9 this year in bowl games. Yeah.
And one of them was against Tulane, and 2 of them were against other SEC schools. So only one legitimate win against a Power 4 opponent. I think that the run of the dominant SEC is kind of over, and I think we need to kind of view the conferences at more of an equal playing field rather than just assuming that the SEC is this gauntlet. I do understand ESPN owns or has a lot of money tied up with the SEC. Yeah, exactly. ESPN owns the committee. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, they have a lot of influence. They also have a lot of teams like Tennessee, who didn't have a very good win against a Power 4 opponent and is only in the top 25 to bolster up these resumes simply because they are in the SEC. And if they were, even UW, as much as I hate them, they had a better resume majority of the season compared to these really, mid-tier SEC schools. And ESPN just loves to just not hop off. So,
yeah, no, it's really tough to watch. And this is also a good point. Like Notre Dame, like they deserve to be in. I don't disagree. Maybe if they lost to 2 playoff teams. Like it's really tough to take that away from them, especially early on in the season. But yeah, what they did with the bowl game was weak. I mean, we talked about it in our episode when that happened. You just can't do that. Like, go out there, like Jeremiah Love and Price, like those 2 dudes people want to see them play. And I get like Jeremiah Love, he's preparing for the draft, but like you still want to see him play. Like this, he's meant a lot for Notre Dame fans, and to not even like let him have a chance to win you a bowl game.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like weak. It's like having a career guy go out there and not being able to compete.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a whole extra spring practice, basically. You get 4 extra weeks to practice leading up to the bowl games. It's better for the development. Like, as a coach, like, you just want as much time with your players as possible. I think it's ridiculous. Anyways, will we see Bryce Betcher at running back? At this point, we might see me at running back with Noah Whittington questionable. We got 2 healthy scholarship running backs. And, we might be holding some open tryouts right now. So, but
Yeah,
we will see. I think Whittington will end up playing. I think Dale Hill will end up getting 15 to 20 touches, and he'll show us his ability.
I'm telling you, he's gonna eat, man. He's an explosive player. He's an exciting player. Like
I just
it's
need to
kind of
see
what
how
this
he
offense
is in
needs.
between the tackles. I got to see more film of him in between the tackles because you really only see him on these outside runs. Indiana
But
keyed on that very well last time
yes,
we faced them. So hopefully
yeah,
we mixed it up a lot more with him in the game this time.
I mean, he had what? I think he had like against Indiana last week. He had 3 carries for 3 yards or like something like that. It was like not good. It was really not good. But the thing is Deerhill not having as much playing time as Davison might honestly play to our benefit in a way because we can utilize him in ways that Indiana doesn't have on tape, on film, and that's something that is a really big benefit. Is Indiana is how elite their coaching staff is and how good they are at being able to pinpoint weaknesses in our game. But if they don't even know the weaknesses, then it's kind of hard for them to pinpoint them. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But this is also another thing. If Noah's out, we are in trouble. But I think we'll be all right. I think Noah's going to play, from what I could tell.
Yeah. Also, shout out Scott Mack. Congratulations on going to the Fiesta Bowl, Arizona. Me and Brennan are both from there, so we appreciate all of those. I think the Rhino that picked the game ended up being right. Or were they wrong? It doesn't matter, but glad you had a good experience down in the Fiesta Bowl. Hopefully, if we make the national championship, me and Brennan will be on the beaches of Miami instead of cooped up here. So we'll see how it goes. I do want to also talk about this question by Carson Beck Enjoyer. Thoughts on how college football conferences are going, turning into more of 2, maybe 3 dominant conferences. I think it ruins the way conferences are meant to be. I'll give any opportunity to hate on USC. They completely destroy the Pac-12. I think the Pac-12 would be arguably the best conference in college football, or second best at this point. I think it's ridiculous that Oregon has to travel all the way to Northwestern for away games, and I am a big believer in that conferences never should have gone away from the way they were. And if anything, they should have been I don't know. I think it's stupid. And it ruins the structure of how the playoff is, and that's why we got 2 group of 5 teams in. So I mean, I don't know how to fix it at this point. I mean, USC just sucks, but yeah, someone just needs to step in. There needs to be a commissioner. It's kind of just a power struggle at the top, and it's not fair to the ACC, the Big 12, or any group of 5 school or teams.
Yeah. Well, something else I want to go back on and touch on is this. Like, this is kind of a crazy point right here. This is 100% true. And it kind of shows how bad the system is because Miami is a good team. Like, we know this. Like, I don't like Mario Cristobal or anything he stands for. Like, he's kind of a snake. No, he is a snake. I mean, granted, he went back to go coach at Miami, but he left us and still leaves a bad taste in Duck fans' mouths. I mean, it's not that bad because, we got Dan Lanning. So I think that's something that would be really exciting is a Dan Lanning, Mario Cristobal matchup in the Natty. Like, the storylines are beautiful.
Yeah.
But it really does show how bad the system is that the team that's playing in the national championship wasn't even supposed to make it until Duke won the ACC out of I don't know. That was crazy.
It's broken. Conferences are too big. You don't get to play everyone in your conference. You don't get an opportunity to showcase you're the 2 best teams in conference because you don't know if Oregon played Ohio State this year, then maybe we were playing in Indianapolis instead of them. So conferences are too big, and there's a problem, and someone needs to step in and do something about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to talk about these 2 comments about Lanning leaving points on the board. I am a firm believer in you don't change your strategy dependent on the game. So if you're in the national championship or whether you're playing Northwestern in week 3, you should absolutely have the same philosophy throughout the season because that's what got you to that game. Like, why are you changing your philosophy from week 3 at Northwestern in the national championship just because of the style of the game? Like, the reason you're in the national championship is because you play that way. And Lanning has shown in big games he's not scared to go for it. He trusts his guys to get 1 yard, and I think that's part of the culture that he builds here, that he trusts his guys to go get 1 yard every single time. So I really honestly have no problem in leaving the points on the board because I feel like we will be more efficient in those 4th and shorts against Indiana, potentially against Miami. I just think Texas Tech had played phenomenal, and I don't know that the 9 a.m. start time helped us very much. I
That's another
I
point.
am under the firm belief you trust your guys to go get it, and you put the games in their hands rather than playing the points or playing scared, not in the moment. So that's my take on that. What do you think,
No,
Brendan?
and Birdie, I would agree. First off, I'm gonna shout out, give me more Dante. Appreciate you for the
Always
99
getting more
cents.
Dante.
Yes. This is all like, actually, Scott Mack just pointed out, like our red zone offense, like our efficiency isn't great. And so, yes, I agree. You trust your guys, but at some point, if we didn't have as much faith as we did versus a team like Texas Tech, like I think Dan had full faith that we were going to win that game to begin with. But Indiana, on the other hand, a 4th and 2, that's when I'm really like, from the 15-yard line, I would like to see Dan kick instead of go for it, because it hasn't worked out. And especially losing Jordan Davison, who has been quite literally our only way to pick up short yardage, like yards. Because early on in the season, he had like 8 yards. He had like 8 yards for 5 touchdowns, and it was like, what? But that's just because he was a short yardage demon. And so the thing is without him, I think, okay, let's run it back a little bit. Let's be a little more conservative. Our defense went out and played great. They pitched a shutout. I think that they need to trust their defense and take the points. Like at this point against Indiana, it's going to be, all about the points. But I can understand it from both sides. I think versus Indiana, take the points. Again, if we play in the Natty against Miami, definitely go for it. Like, yes, they have good D-line, but if you watch the game, they were starting to get some serious injuries, and it was just tough.
Yeah. All right. What else we got here? Tristan asks, how would you feel about Dylan Raiola at Oregon? Oregon does have some portal visitors starting to come in. Indiana, on the other hand, has been very active in the portal. Me and Brennan have been big Raiola guys. We prefer him over Levitt just because we feel like he is actually a decent human being.
He's a cornball. He's a cornball for sure.
He is a cornball. Sometimes you need
player.
that. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point to get back to it. But there was 50 points scored in last time. It was 30-20 in Eugene. I don't know. I think that if you have a good drive and you put it together and you're at the 15-yard line, it's 4th and 2. I feel like the math plays out in your favor. You probably have about a 60% implied chance to get that 4th and 2. And they have less of a chance to score on their drive because they have such a long field. So I'm always going to be on the side of go for it over take the points, unless it's a Texas Tech situation. I don't know. I didn't think there was a single time I disagreed with them going for it in that game. Like, don't change your philosophy just because of the situation. Continue to trust your guys.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people in the chat talking about how much they like Sam Levitt. The thing with Sam Levitt, though, is he's all right. Like, there's a reason why Kenny Dillingham is pushing him out. Like, come on. And the other thing with him is he plays hero ball. To be honest with you, Sam Levitt reminds me a lot of Diego Pavia. They're kind of the same player. Their play style is the exact same. And for me, it's just hard because I want a guy that's like going to be able to just, check down, like actually make decisions. And Sam Levitt is always on the run, and he's, throwing up prayers. And I think also Jordan Tyson was a big reason why he had any success. Like, he kind of lost his job to Jeff Sims, which is not a good look. I'm actually still kind of bewildered by the fact that he is still the number 1 quarterback in the portal. I don't get it.
I think. Sorry, Brendan, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I was going to say, Levitt, I do think he's more talented than Brendan and Bjorn have given him credit for. But we're from Oregon. We've played or know a lot of people that have played against Sam, and we have not heard the greatest things about his character. I just don't feel like that fits in very well with the culture here at Oregon. Dante's a very humble guy. Raiola is a little bit of a cornball, but I feel like he's more of a guy that can be molded than a Levitt who looks to have a little bit more of an ego. I feel like Levitt's more of a college QB, and Raiola has the potential, more just overall potential than Levitt does at this point. And I think that we can take Raiola similar to Dante and Bo and Gabriel and really boost him up in the draft. So, I mean, that's my take on it.
That's exactly kind of what I'm talking about. Like, yes, Dylan Raiola has played at 4 different high schools in 4 years, but high school is a little bit different nowadays, and especially if you're looking to go play high level Division I football, and especially if you're a 5-star quarterback, like you're getting recruited heavily. Like, guys transfer all the time in high school, and it's just not really talked about. But like, it happens. I mean, we've seen it with Bear Alexander. I mean, he really struggled with that. He transferred like 8 times in 7 years between high school and college, and he's found a home here at Oregon in Eugene. And so that's something else that we keep in mind is, if Sam Levitt does commit to Oregon, I don't think he will. I believe that we're going pretty heavily after the former 5-star, the USC former 5-star, Houston Longstreet or something like that. That's his name. He's looking at Oregon, but that would be, in my opinion, that'd be a good pickup as well, just because he's a younger guy and he's got a lot of potential. But Sam he's just a complicated guy, and there are a lot of teams passing on him. Like, he's been in the portal for like 2 weeks, and you're telling me that Damond Williams is getting, by the way, that was a crazy thing with Damond Williams. Just sounds about right for University of Washington. That's just how they do things over there. The thing is with Damond getting $4 million, and you tell me that the number one player hasn't been offered like big money, like that's kind of where I'm like, I just don't think he's, garnering a ton of interest from a lot of these teams, because they know exactly. Like, if Levitt is so great, he would be on a team right now. But this is also another good point. Like, ASU has been gutted a little bit, but I think some of that is Kenny Dillingham trying to shift the culture. They struggled this last year. Injuries really, really, really were difficult for them. But
I mean, I feel like Arizona State's not, necessarily poor. We've kind of talked about them being a little bit of a sleeping giant. They have good pipelines to Southern California, as well as Arizona just has very good high school football in general, probably only behind a couple of the South teams and California. So I feel like there's a reason that he's not doing more to bring Levitt back. And I trust Dilly just as much as Dan. I feel like there would be more rumors linking us to him if Dilly – I feel like Dilly and Dan talk, and I feel like if he thought Levitt was the answer, he would be honest with us and tell us. But I just don't think it's there necessarily.
Yeah.
And Dante might return next year. There's a lot of talk. Brendan is under the impression that he is 100% coming back. I think if we end up, winning this game and the game against Miami, that he's as good as gone. But I mean, it's hard to pass up being the opportunity to be a top 2 pick. I think in the long run, it would be better for his development. But it's tough to say at this point. We really don't have all the information, and Dante doesn't have all the information. I would say it's probably 50-50 at this point.
Yeah. The thing is with Dante coming back, it's weird because like you would think that it's kind of been established just because we haven't really heard anything. But well, that's the thing is if he goes number 1 or number 2 in the draft, like, who would want to pass up that opportunity? I mean, that's $45 million guaranteed plus, but it's honestly just up to him. It's what he wants. And okay, you guys are kind of hating on the Jets here. What is my eyes have been opened a little bit recently. With the Jets, I actually would want them to draft him. I want Dante Moore to go to the Jets way more than I want to go to the Raiders. The Jets actually have a pretty good, they have a young receiver in A.D. Mitchell and John Mechie and, Garrett Wilson, pretty good receiver. Yeah. Mason Taylor, good tight end. They drafted 2 offensive tackles in the first round in the last 3 years that are both really good in Armin Membu. Not to mention they have a pretty solid defense, but I think they have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. That right there is the recipe for success. And I think I like their staff. Like, they were one of the better situations to go into in college, in the NFL. And I think that's not talked about enough. Whereas the Raiders, no, the Raiders suck.
Yeah, I think the only problem with the Jets is Woody Johnson. Like, he's one of the worst owners in sports, and I think that's like one of the biggest things of looking at a franchise is looking at their owner. And you really see these same poverty teams for reasons because they have poor ownership. The Jets on paper do have good talent, and I do think Aaron Glenn is a better culture builder than we're trying to give him credit for. He isn't a competent owner. And I think that's my only hesitation, but I do love the talent in A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor is a solid option as well. Penn State, tackle. They have a pretty solid offensive line. So I think there's worse situations to go into than the Jets.
For sure. It's tough to see with Dante. Like, really, who knows? Who knows what's going on? Also, I need to address something real quick, while we have this little break. People have been asking about the AirPods. They are the Gen 3 AirPods, so that's why they look like that. They are not sticking out of my ear. Just they're in there pretty well. Don't worry.
Just have such big ears. It just
yes, that have enormous ears. And I like Aaron Glenn also. Like, he's not a bad coach. Like, I think he's an exciting guy. So, there's something there, but I have quite a bit of faith in him coming back. Also, to put on this, I think Texas, Florida, Georgia, California, and Bama are the only schools that have better football talent than Arizona. You're not telling me New Jersey has better talent. Louisiana probably does. No, Louisiana definitely does. There's just no chance that New Jersey and Pennsylvania do. I mean, Arizona has become actually a pretty good spot for, high-level talent. I mean, Dylan Raiola was, again, the transferring thing is a bit of an issue, but Dylan Raiola was really recognized when he was playing down in Arizona as a 5-star QB. Mm-hmm. So that is something else to say, like something else to note. Yeah, okay.
All right, let's get a little bit more back on track to Indiana. Brendan, what are your keys to the game, and how do you think this rematch is going to go different, or do you think it is even going to go any different compared to the first game?
So the main things that I have that need to be talked about are Oregon's O-line really struggled last time, and that was whether that was the run game and also that was the passing game. I mean, Dante had I think he was sacked 5 or 6 times, and that just can't happen again. Like, we can allow maybe 2 sacks in this game, but outside of that, it can't happen. The Indiana front 7 is good. It's really good. But they did have an injury to it, which does impact them quite a bit on the interior. But also Oregon just went up against the best front 7 in college football and one of the best in football in general. And so that is something that it's going to feel easier for these guys after playing such a good front 7. I hope. Again, this is all in theory. But I hope it feels easier for them coming into this game against Indiana's front 7. But also, like, our defense played phenomenal last game, and they need to really slow down Mendoza. Mendoza has struggled against better teams. Alabama is not a good team. Alabama is probably not a top 15 team in college football, so the fact that they were in the playoffs was diabolical, to be honest with you. And that's why Mendoza didn't struggle at all. But if Finney and Iffy and Teron Johnson, like, if our guys can play well against their receivers, that'll be the recipe for success. And realistically, getting pressure is a big deal. Tatum Tuioti has been playing great. Mateo had some really big impact plays in the last game. That's something that's going to have to happen in order for us to, have success in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, what are your thoughts here? Like, what does Oregon need to do?
I think one of the biggest things to point out is Indiana's lack of size of the perimeter on their defense. Their corners are a little bit undersized. We don't really have that 50-50 ball guy in Evan Stewart that we seem to be missing this entire game, or the entire postseason run. But I do think that the emergence of Jamari Johnson and Kenyon Sadiq potentially getting more involved in this game are going to be our biggest keys on offense. I think that looking in between the tackles, we did find success in the run game last time. I feel like we were still using too many running backs. We weren't exactly focused in on what we did well yet at that point in the season. I do think we are a better team all around, and I think Stein will focus in the game plan a lot more of what worked last time rather than only running the ball, I believe, 6 times in the second half. So I think we will be looking. Yeah, Sadiq absolutely got robbed of the Mackey. He is the best tight end in college football, and I think Jamari Johnson isn't too far behind him. I think getting those two involved as well as running in between the tackles more effectively, using Jamari Johnson and Kenyon Sadiq in the run game, kind of meshing all these personnels that we have been using and we've seen later in the season, such as Iowa, UW, and USC, using these personnels better in order to, take care of the football, run in between the tackles, and expose any size advantage we have on the outside, whether that's through 50-50 ball to McClellan or Dak Moore on the outside, or it's getting the ball to one of our big tight ends in the flat and allowing them to be one-on-one with these corners. So, yeah, I think that's my keys to the game is run effectively in between the tackles and get the ball in our guys' hands and give them an opportunity and get Kenyon Sadiq involved. Those are my top 3 is balls in playmakers' hands, in between tackles, and feed Sadiq. So
yeah, no, that's a good point. Also, to go back to what No Name, no, Ohio, you talked about it earlier, but Ohio definitely has a lot of talent. But I'm talking about more recently. If you're looking at Arizona talent, not so much against Pennsylvania. That definitely, I did my due diligence there. Pennsylvania puts out some phenomenal talent, but New Jersey not so much. Yes, an NFL talent for sure, but I'm looking more directly at high school talent that correlates into college and also producing well. More recently, Arizona has definitely become a bigger state. And that's something that Arizona State really should utilize if they want to get better. And I think that's what Kenny Dillingham can do, but we'll have to see.
So going back a little bit more, we've talked about what Oregon's offense needs to do. What do you think their defense needs to do differently this time? I think I'll just rattle off a little bit, but Thieneman really has been popping as well as Betcher. Betcher's been playing a lot better since the first Indiana game. I think that the biggest key to the game is not stunt Mateo every single pass rush rep. I think Mateo as well as Tatum are much more talented than the Indiana's tackles, especially I forgot the right tackle's name, but there was plenty of times on film where you can just see he is not where he's just not as quick as Mateo and not as talented as Mateo. We stunted him very often trying to get Amari Washington one-on-one with their tackles, and I think that is not the best use of us on these 3rd and long situations. I think we need to let Mateo be Mateo. And if they're not going to chip him, he needs to make them pay. And I think he will show up more this time. I think we saw that more against Texas Tech, and I think that's why we got more success with Purchase, with Mateo, with Tatum. We were actually letting them go one-on-one instead of trying to stunt them every play and getting no pressure. So we need to make Mendoza uncomfortable in the pocket. We need to make sure these RPOs are locked up, which I think will be with better play on the outside as Finney is developed throughout the season. So I think our defense will show up more than the first game. It's the biggest question for me is whether or not our offense can support our defense. That's my biggest question going into the game. But.
Yeah, no, I mean it's getting to Mendoza. I think if we can get in his head, which is hard to do, this starts at the front 7 there. And Betcher's been playing a lot better as of recently, which is nice to see. But it's all about getting to him, getting sacks, applying pressure. It really will definitely help. Help out our DBs, our young DBs against some pretty good receivers. That'll definitely give us some more opportunity to force turnovers, and that's going to be definitely a name of the game there.
To talk a little bit about Indiana's receivers, Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt, 2 of the best receivers in the Big Ten, 2 people that I've seen creeping up even into the first round, maybe even the second round of the NFL draft. Omar Cooper, 61 receptions, 850 yards, and 12 touchdowns on the season, and Surratt with 55 for 727 and 13 touchdowns on the season. Very much helping Fernando Mendoza win the Heisman Trophy this year. They also have a very solid back to headed backfield in Hemby and Black with a total of 1,900 yards and 15 touchdowns between those two. Who are you most scared of on this Indiana offense, Brendan?
Who am I most scared of? To be honest with you, it's definitely going to be Cooper. I mean, I think he can definitely torch us. I mean, he had a big game last time. Hopefully, he doesn't repeat. But somebody else that we need to mention is Charlie Becker. Charlie Becker is a fast receiver. He just gets open. And that's somebody that also we need to keep in mind. They have 3 really good receivers, and they have 2 really good running backs. And so that is definitely scary. Definitely scary to deal with. So, I mean, obviously the easy answer to your question is Mendoza, like, oh, he can torch us. But it's definitely Omar Cooper. He's definitely the guy that I'm circling as like, hey, if we shut him down, we have a very good chance to win.
I mean, for me, I think it's still Mendoza. He does a great job of spreading the ball around. Very RPO heavy system. I think he fits the system absolutely perfectly. And I think we need to contain his legs. I don't feel like we were ready for his legs last time. We didn't have good leg integrity rushing the passer last game. I think we need to make sure that we are, rushing where we're supposed to rush, not getting overconfident that someone else is going to pick it up, and not let him hurt us with his legs on these 3rd and shorts like he did last game. I do want to talk about this a little bit. Oregon having the easiest playoff schedule so far. I don't necessarily disagree. I do think Indiana might have a little bit easier schedule playing Alabama. I do think Tech did just face their first real defense that they saw all season. Their defense still played amazing. I think their front seven is probably the best in the sport right now. I think Oregon is honestly a very battle-tested team and way more battle-tested than the first time we played Indiana. We went at Iowa, played in a dang near monsoon. That was a tough game. Season on the line. Dante throws an absolute rope to Malik Benson, averaged almost 7 yards a carry against a very stout Iowa defense when they know we had to run the ball. And we also, played in a shootout against USC. We played in a more low-scoring, field goal heavy, where we actually took the points against UW. So we've just won in so many different ways this season, and I think we've been in all these games. The players are confident in they know what we're going to do when we get into these situations. I think that is something that cannot be understated.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think if Oregon can go out there and punch them in the mouth, good chance to win the football game. Indiana is a great team, though. All respect to them, they've had a phenomenal season, but it feels like if they get punched in the mouth, they might not be able to recover. They really haven't been punched in the mouth all year. I was talking about it with my brother actually earlier, but it feels like all of Indiana's games have gone to script. Even when they played us early on in the year, like everything was on their script. The only game that didn't go to their script was against Ohio State, and there's a good chance Ohio State wins that game if their kicker doesn't miss a 25-yard field goal.
Fielding is terrible.
Holy cow! But that's something that that's something that could really happen. Oregon could go out there. I think someone mentioned it in the chat earlier, but if Oregon goes out there and scores on 5 straight drives, that would be punching them in the mouth for sure.
Yeah. I also want to shout out Ash. Thank you. We appreciate the love from Texas. My dad lived in Texas for a few years. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, Doug.
Yeah. And then also to get to this point, we've talked about it a little bit in the past, but I believe
I think Drew is officially the OC next year. I believe.
Drew Merringer.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him in a Ducks versus them episode, kind of starting to lead that a little bit with Stein. Obviously, off to Kentucky. So I think Samples will be a lot more involved next year. He's a very talented and young offensive mind. I believe he's been with the Rams and Arizona State. I think that was Samples. I think he will be absolutely up next after Drew. I think Drew will probably get a head coach job 1 to 2 years after this promotion. And if not, then Samples is going to be chomping at the bit to get the next selection. I just think he's a little young, maybe needs a year or two as that co-offensive coordinator with Drew. And I think Lanning knows that, and we will see Samples as offensive coordinator of Oregon within the next 5 years. So
Yeah. Also, it was TCU, Texas Christian University that it was at. But yeah, I really do like Samples. Good recruiter, good dude, and I think his time's coming soon. So don't worry, don't worry. Okay.
Yeah, Surratt. I do think I'm a little bit more scared of Surratt than Cooper, like you are, Brennan. I do think that it was Theron Johnson on him majority of the game last time.
Yeah.
And Surratt did. He was a little physical in this game. We'll see how the refs let him this time. I do really think he is talented. I think him and Omar Cooper are a 1A, 1B type. So we might. It's hard when they have a third receiver that is as quick as they have, But traditionally, a lot of defenses, what they'll do is lock their number one corner on their number two, such as Finney on Omar Cooper, and then they'll bracket the number one in Surratt. So I think those will be the matchups to watch. It'll be interesting to see how Lupoy ends up dealing, defensively against Indiana this time.
Yeah. No, I somebody says in the chat here. By the way, I need to point out it is actually quite difficult to read a chat while you're talking and stuff. So if I freeze, and I don't know if this applies to you also, Brady, but if I'm talking and then all of a sudden lose my train of thought, it's because I'm reading something. It can be a little difficult.
If we don't see your comment, just comment it again, and we'll try to get to it. It's we're doing our best, I swear.
Yeah, but this is kind of what I was talking. This is the comment I was looking for. That Dan Lanning hopefully will coach a masterclass tomorrow. I do know that. God, I don't know what I was looking at, but I saw somewhere that Dan was kind of going after everybody, after Dante, after the coaches. He's pushing these guys to want more and to be better in practice this week. He's hopefully become with a different intensity, and this game just means more. To steal a page from the SEC's book. Not that I really want to take any pages.
Oh yeah, I couldn't find the comment, but someone earlier talking about Mario Cristobal not taking a knee. I believe against Georgia Tech a few years ago. There's levels to this coaching thing, and I mean Signetti and Lanning are two of the best in the sport, and I think Lanning is sick enough in the head to where I don't know if he slept this week, because if he loses to the same coach in the season twice, such as DeBoer a few years ago, I think he might implode. So I love having a psychopath as our head coach. I do think he's going to coach his best game tomorrow.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I don't know if this is true. I mean, I just know that he showed up as questionable, but I would assume it was probably a sickness. I can't imagine he would have gotten hurt on a Thursday practice or a Thursday practice or a Wednesday practice. They're traveling, so I don't know how, but I know the flu is going around here. I think Bjorn is almost dead from it currently. I did have it a little bit, so it is a thing going around. So hopefully he's fine and getting well rested, because we certainly need him with 2 scholarship running backs, 3 with Jay Harris on the roster. I think to address this comment, I mean, picture, man. I can't do the picture.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you see Lupoy and Lanning. I don't think Stein has slept since the transfer portal was opened. These coaches, doing 2 jobs at the same time, it's just unfair to them. It's unfair to the Ole Miss staff getting put between Kiffin and coaching for those guys that they've been coaching all year. I think Lanning has the best solution, starting the season as early as possible to make sure that it's done on January 1st, and then the portal opens right after the national championship on January 1st. I think it's ridiculous that isn't that. Whether the school is trimester, quarters, or semesters, everyone has a Christmas break and starts in early January, so it's not messing anything up with classes. Someone needs to step up. There shouldn't be 24 days in between the playoff and the end of the season. It's ridiculous. No other sport does that.
No.
And it's just, it needs to be fixed. And on top of that, I've been really adamant about games being played on campus up to the national championship. You can argue the semifinals could be played on neutral site. I couldn't care either way. Would be happy as long as the quarterfinals are played on campus, because that's what the students deserve. That's what the sport deserves. And on top of all that, it makes the regular season actually matter again, because you don't want to
Yes.
lose to Indiana at home at Autzen, because then you're going to be the 5 seed and you have to go to Lubbock to play Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And the right crowd, especially playoff atmosphere, that can be anywhere from 3 to 7, maybe even 14 points if you're coming to Autzen. Difference. Or in case of Oregon last year beating Ohio State versus getting absolutely boat raced. So it absolutely does matter. I think it would make college football again, as well as that vibe. So that's my take on it. Carson Beck, enjoyer.
Carson Beck, enjoyer. By the way, are you going to take this disrespect on your glorious king? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can take that disrespect. I believe it was somebody was talking about it, but yeah, last year. I'm not going to put it on because there's a little bit of profanity. But last year, the same thing happened to us with the Penn State game in the Big Ten championship, which ended up being, I guess the game didn't matter because we lost in the next game. But, it still was an important game for us to, first year in the conference, to go out there and beat all the big schools. That's something that happened to us. So hopefully we get a little bit of luck here and Whittington is feeling better. If it is a sickness, hopefully he's feeling better. Just give him some drugs. Get him out there. Juice him up.
Give him a shot of something. Scott, this is one of my keys to the game. One of my top 3 is get Sadiq involved as much as possible. He did not get involved as much as I would like to see last time. He needs to be on the perimeter. Indiana, I mentioned earlier, has smaller corners, a little bit undersized. Maybe Sadiq will do the same thing he did against Montana State early in the season and just have the corner fall down, trying to tackle him. So I think we need to be creative in the way we use him. He's also a very effective run blocker. So any way we can get him, motioning into these counter plays, these gap scheme plays, or split action, or anything we did. We were very creative in the run game against Iowa. I didn't see it as much against Texas Tech. Sadiq and Jamari Johnson are such effective and great run blockers. I really think we need to see them more in the run scheme. As well as any slips or easy completions to get them off of our run schemes. So,
this is something else. Dak Moore, would love to see a legacy game from him. I've had my takes about him. Not his biggest fan as of right now, but I would love to see him just go crazy. That would be amazing. Dak Moore, 150 yards, 2 touchdown game would be phenomenal. That'd make me very happy. That'd be definitely a key to success. Sadiq, somebody's got to make some plays. Davison's not there. Somebody's got to do something. We can also. I know that somebody wants some score predictions. Give me more.
Well, I think it also depends on this. Mendoza, get him talking about those dinosaur facts. If you guys aren't chronically online, like me, unfortunately, Oregon Ducks Twitter is saying we can win the game by just getting Fernando Mendoza talking about dinosaur facts in the middle of the game instead of focusing on football. It is a superpower,
It is. I could see it.
He's a very talented player. Indiana is, I think, the best. I think Oregon and Indiana are the 2 best teams in the playoffs. And the Big Ten is the best conference in the country right now. And I think whoever wins this game will end up beating Miami in the national championship. So,
for sure,
I think
I would agree.
Even
though it's a home game for them, which is crazy. But my score prediction for this game, I'm a Duck fan, so I have to take Oregon to win the game. I'm gonna go with. Hold on, let me think. Let me go with. I'm gonna say Oregon 24-21. I think that's going to be my final score pick.
I think there's going to be some more field goals in this game, if I'm being honest. I think the Ducks defense, hypothetical win for the Big Ten there. But I do think that there are going to be some more field goals in this game. I think the final score will be 23-20. I am going to take Oregon because I am an Oregon homer. But I think this game will be decided by a field goal. I think it'll be decided by a field goal. I think Oregon will end up taking, a decent amount of field goals. So I'm going to go 23-20 for Oregon.
Also, we have a comment I want to highlight here. Who are our least favorite teams? So the list goes with UW, USC, I'll throw Miami on there just because I hate Mario Cristobal. Let's throw Notre Dame on there just because they play frauds every single year and make the playoffs by some miracle.
You also hate Clemson, Brendan. Don't forget Clemson.
Oh, Clemson. Oh, I hate Dabo Sweeney. I don't know how he still has a job, by the way. That is unbelievable. We'll talk about all that in the offseason. But Dabo Sweeney's what? How does he still have a job? Who else do I absolutely despise?
I don't know. I think
probably Alabama. I don't like Kalen DeBoer.
Brendan's a much bigger hater than I am. I think the only teams I truly hate are the Huskies. I hate the Huskies. I literally cannot stand to even look at them. I hate USC. I don't think that their fans are very good. And I don't necessarily hate Ohio State, but I do think they have the worst fans in the entire country, giving death threats to Chris Henry Jr. for considering going to Oregon. I don't respect that. So I not necessarily hate Ohio State, but their fans I definitely do hate. So I would say those are my three. Brendan Peters brings up a great point. Probably the worst fan base, worst colors, worst college in the country. So yeah.
Yeah, no, Dante, this is a good score prediction. 23-17. Fair enough. Like, there's a world where Indiana wins this game 100%. They're a scary team. Not a team I want to play. But coming into the playoffs, to be honest with you, I said it when we got our side of the bracket, but I would have been okay with playing Indiana rather than Ohio State. Now, in hindsight, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but I think Ohio State as the 1 seed instead of Indiana would have been scarier to me. Whereas I would have thought, Ohio State's probably going to win this game. I just don't know if Indiana has the real talent. When we played
come on, this is ridiculous. I don't care if they don't have a 5-star, Brandon. They have All-Americans all over the field. They have talent. It just wasn't in traditional 5-star or 4-star.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like Ohio State has 5 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Indiana has 1. Okay, we're talking about first and like third-round guys here. Like, Brady, you're an NFL guy. Do you really think that Ohio State doesn't have more talent? Like, really what it is it's a coaching masterclass from Curt Cignetti. And if Curt Cignetti can go out there and beat the University of Oregon twice, then, more power to you. Like, then he's actually that guy. But we saw what he did last year, and, he didn't play. The good teams he played against last year, he got beat by. They beat us here earlier in a cold, wet day in Autzen Stadium on game day. Big win for their program, but at the same time, like, this is being played indoors, and our guys are more athletic. They're bigger, stronger, faster, and it's gonna show up. Like, why do you think it shows up in the SEC so much that guys are drafted so highly? Because they are bigger, stronger, more athletic. And me, I don't like the SEC very much, but it's just how it is, and it's going to have an impact in this game, and I think it's going to show. Listen, if they prove me wrong, then I will eat my words, and on the next podcast, I will go out and say, hey, like, the talent gap didn't matter, but I think there's a world where it does matter.
Yeah, I think the only real talent gaps I see, like, I think Indiana is a very talented, very well-coached team, and these players are a lot better than people, especially SEC fans, when they were going to play Alabama, are giving them credit for. I do think that they do not have as much depth as Oregon, and our depth has been hit very hard with the transfer portal. Their tackles are not nearly as talented as World and maybe even Harkey, and their corners are not as big and physical as our corners. So I think they do have more glaring weaknesses than people are thinking of, and I don't think that they're necessarily invincible.
That's what I'm saying.
But they are a very, very well-coached team, and I think that the stars argument that certain people have, I just don't – I don't see it. I do think I did want to say this, Dante. I do think our offense has been a little stagnant and not looking to push the ball downfield as much. I do think we will need a few explosive plays as well as taking care of the ball in order to win this game. I think Dante needs to be more aggressive looking downfield. I feel like it's similar to Rogers was in the latter years. Where he is so worried about not throwing a pick and being efficient and staying on schedule that he's not throwing up these balls
Yeah.
for his receivers to trust and give them a chance. So.
Well, and Dante has the arm talent to do so, and he has the weapons. Like Dak Moore is a speedster, so is Benson, and that's going to have an impact. This is a by the way, this is something to imagine. Thank you for that. Give me
Oh, dude,
more Dante.
don't worry. I got pictures of Brennan playing in high school with his luscious red locks flowing out the back of the helmet. So,
hey man, respect to this. I appreciate the hop on the bandwagon any way you can, man. Let's go Ducks.
yeah, let's go
But
Ducks,
no,
man.
honestly, I'm hoping that the game lives up to the Miami and Ole Miss game because holy cow, that was a phenomenal football game. That was a fun game. And that was kind of what I hope happens. As a Duck fan, I live for these big games. Like I don't want to see us, go put the belt to Purdue every week. I want to see us play against good teams. Like the losses are going to hurt, but the wins are going to feel like sweeter. And at this point, it's more of a matter of, we've got potentially 2 games left. And as a Duck fan, this is kind of what you want. This is how we want to feel every single year, is sweating out these last few games, with a chance to win a natty, which is something that we've never done. And honestly, I feel pretty good about our chances this year. But even if we haven't talked about it yet, but we should. If we say Oregon does lose, what does that look like for University of Oregon? Well, at the end of the day, Indiana's on their magical run, right? So I don't think the Ducks losing is going to be talked about as much as Indiana's success this season and how their Cinderella run that they're having. I think that's going to be talked about more. So it's not going to be as heartbreaking of a loss. Kind of like last year when we lost to Ohio State because we were the better team. Indiana's the number 1 team in the country. Like they're supposed to be they're supposed to win it. Like that's why they're ranked number 1. But with a loss, it's not the end of the world because it really does feel like this team is going to return a lot of talent and guys are going to get better, bigger, stronger, faster. Like next year really, really could be a year, especially if Dante does come back. So that is something that there is a world where Dante comes back if we lose. If we win the natty, you should go to the league. Go to the league, bro. Get out of here. But I'm not talking about the DBs. But Brady, I'll let you speak first. We'll talk.
I was gonna say, football teams, they have a 1-year shelf life. Like you're only ever gonna play with the same team, 1 year. It's tough, and it's like, I just think it's a real testament to the culture that Lanning's building here. That there are so many guys and so much depth at Oregon, as well as these DBs and receivers. Like we are seeing him recruit guys that want to hit, that want to block. We see Dak Moore getting hyped first game of the season for pancaking a DB. The culture that Oregon has, I think that they're here to stay beyond the season. And we have talked a little bit about this potentially being a 2-year plan for Oregon, but we have a chance to win the whole thing this year. So Oregon does have a lot of young talent in Finney, and as well as the running backs and a ton of these freshmen that just have endless potential, as well as a great class coming in these next years. So I think Oregon will make the playoffs again next year, whether or not Dante comes back. And I'm super excited for the future of Oregon. And I think that Lanning is one of the best at game planning, one of the best at scouting, recruiting, and motivating in the sport. Exactly. It's 2 of the best coaches in the country tomorrow. Both these teams will be perennial playoff teams, and I'm excited to. It's gonna be a big game.
Something that Oregon has slightly more history than Indiana, but to give Indiana some credit here with what Curt Cignetti's done, I didn't know what to expect with the future of Indiana after this year. It felt like maybe this is their year, like this is it for them. But what they've done in the portal has been kind of eye-opening. Like they have genuinely done a phenomenal job. Not a big Josh Hoover fan, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's probably not the best guy to spend however much money you guys spend on him. I thought it was like a lot of money, like $5 million. But he's got phenomenal arm talent. If you guys can, figure out his accuracy and his decision making, then that'll be great. Curt Cignetti's a great coach, so I'm sure he can turn it around for him. But I mean, Indiana's they're a good program, and I really do think in the next 10 years, it's going to be Ohio State, Oregon, uh, probably Penn State and Indiana. Like, I mean, I think Matt Campbell was a phenomenal hire for Penn State. So I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Michigan is Michigan. So you kind of never really know. But
yeah, I think that you might hate on Hoover a little bit, but I think it's an absolute testament to how great Cignetti is, because Hoover, he's second in the country in RPO percentage, and Mendoza is obviously first. Is a very scheme fit. Like he went out and got the guy that he knows can run his offense, and can be a good part of the culture. Is kind of like kind of like Will Howard, where it's like a guy that he's going to go in and he's just going to do his job, and the rest of the team's going to be good enough, or great, and he's going to be just good enough to have them in every game
for sure.
So,
well, and that's important. I mean, we see with college quarterbacks all the time. I mean, the best college quarterbacks in college don't win the Natty every year. In fact, most of the time they don't. They usually are not the best. Will Howard, don't think he was great, but still solid. I mean,
yeah, good enough.
Good enough works sometimes. It really does.
Okay, so I do want to get these questions answered before the end of the podcast, Brendan. If Indiana wins, how do you see the game playing out?
If Indiana wins this game, it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game no matter which way you put it, but I think it's them establishing the run. If they can establish the run against us, they're gonna win the football game. If they rush for 125 plus yards and punch it in on the ground once, we're gonna lose the game. Oregon's gonna lose the game. Which that's kind of the main thing, in my opinion. Like, our defense has to show up. Our offense has been kind of hit or miss, but it's Oregon offense. It's always going to be solid. They're always going to find a way to put points on the board. I mean, somehow we put up points against Texas Tech. It didn't look like we were going to score anything. But yeah. How about you? What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree with you. I think it's more about Indiana staying ahead of the sticks, not getting these second and 8+ situations. I think that if we get Mateo and Tatum more opportunities to rush against these not as talented tackles at Indiana, I think that not stunting them as much as we did last game and actually letting them rush like we did against Texas Tech, I think we will find more success than we did the first time at Indiana. But if Indiana were to win, I think it would be because we are, consistently allowing 3 to 5 yards on each first down, on each run, or each RPO. I think if they stay ahead of the sticks and they're getting in these second and shorts, second and mediums, third and shorts, and not allowing our guys to really get after Mendoza and get in a flow, that's playing to their strengths, and I think they'll end up winning the game. Also, if they win the turnover battle, if Dante throws a pick, there's a fumble. These plays that we're shooting ourselves in the foot, like fumble exchanges, bad snaps by Poncho, like we did in the Texas Tech game, I don't think we win the game in that. I think we need to play clean. We need to be able to take shots. And I think we need to keep Indiana behind the sticks. So those are the keys. The missing DBs. Yeah, sorry about that. Canada
Dalen Austin is our only loss. That's our only loss, and even he was just our nickel guy. Lopa didn't play at all.
He got some rep.
I think he had maybe like 12 snaps all season, homeboy.
Still, it's like we have Canada and we have Thieneman. Like, those are great players, but if they get hurt, it does scare me a little bit. But they have just been so fantastic all season, playing those roles, in the run when they need to. I just hope that I hope they stay healthy because.
Well, if they get hurt, I believe Brew is back. I'm not sure, but Dorian Brew can step in, have an impact. Dorian Brew has been around. He can step up and make an impact. Trey McNutt's another guy. Naeem Oford, he's got some run. Like, we'll be fine. I'm sure that we have a game plan this week. Like, I'm sure that guys have been rotating in. Like, there's just no way that we have not, been keeping that in mind. And these guys were former 5 stars. Like, these guys are legit. Like, these guys have talent. So I'm not too worried.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we got worst case scenario, we just throw Dan Lanning out there at DB.
Yeah. Yeah, we might put Brendan or me out in the nickel, depending on how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah, you do not want to see me out there, though.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like, it's stupid. Like, even Kiffin moving on to LSU, like, there needs to be more regulation and more schedule. It's stupid the way the sport's set up. I had heard someone have a take about how college football is kind of the worst of every sport combined right now. Like,
even
unlimited,
though it's still the best.
It still is the best. I absolutely agree. I think it's the best sport, but it kind of has that unlimited budget, like the MLB, like the Dodgers.
But it's like the worst way of going out about it.
I know. It's like I think there needs to be some sort of commissioner, something at the top, rather than a power struggle between the Big Ten and SEC, and everyone else kind of gets left in the dust. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a mess right now, but I still think college football is the best sport on earth. And I think it is very easily fixable in certain areas, at least. And someone just needs to step up and do it.
Yeah. And also, to the other point of the DBs, we didn't touch on it, but Oregon has 5 visits. All 5 of them are cornerbacks and safeties. AJ Harris from Penn State, he got a ton of run this year. He's phenomenal corner. He's going to be an impact guy right away. Aaron Scott, he's a younger guy. He played at Ohio State. He didn't get a ton of run, but he's a younger guy who can really develop. Corey Parrish, I don't think we need much introduction, but that dude would be a game changer in the secondary. It's between us and Texas Tech. Texas Tech is throwing absolute oil money at him. I don't know if Oregon has that kind of money to compete, but I mean, everyone says that Oregon is, the
sweatshops or oil money.
But yeah, I hope that for once we can. Well, not for once, but I hope that we can prevail. Corey Parrish is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Tao Johnson and Smith Snowden, both from Utah. Tao Johnson is a safety. Smith Snowden is a corner, and Smith Snowden would be a phenomenal pickup. And Tao Johnson, don't know too much about him. I'm going to do a little bit of due diligence right now, but let me see. Yeah, he got some run this year. He's also a beast. He had 2 picks this year, 27 tackles. He's a junior from Idaho. So again, he's been playing. He's a guy that's been around for a while. So hopefully we can pick those guys up. It would be really nice. But they're on visits, so Dan does a good job of getting guys to commit that he wants. And it's been kind of weird because we haven't had any commits from the port. Well, we have taken Nevada's kicker and punter, so my bad. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, making big moves. All right, so there's some cricket versus football going on in the chat. I'll let you guys handle that while we get into our best bets for this game. Bjorn, unfortunately, is on his deathbed right now with the flu. He has, for his best bet of the season, Bjorn, I think he is 3-3 on the season.
Hold on, I'll pull it up. I'll get it up for us.
Yeah. So those of you who are tuning in or don't know, me, Brendan, and Bjorn, I'll give our best bets of each Oregon game and keep track over the season to see who is the best sports bettor west of the Mississippi. Me and Bjorn are at 3-3, and Brendan, seemingly the expert at this point, is 4-2. I am on a bit of a heater. I think I started 1-3, winning 2 in a row. So Bjorn has Dante over 3.5 rush yards. He says sacks are included in the total as it is college, but he'll be forced to use his legs more because of the lack of running backs. And he always seems to look to scramble and take off in important games. Coach is not looking to save him for future games anymore. He could break a long one and get it all in one play, regardless of taking sacks. He also says not his best bet, but something to look at is Dante Moore anytime touchdown at plus 490. Same reasoning as best bet. We do see Dante run the ball more in these big games. We saw it at Penn State. We saw a little bit at Iowa as well as UW. As we've gotten later in the season, we're seeing him more in these zone options, these power options, just overall getting him more involved in the run game as a quarterback because he does have a little bit of wheels. So I do think that is a good bet by Bjorn.
Yep.
For my best bet, I have Oregon +4. I'm an Oregon homer. I do think that this will be a lower scoring game than the first time. I don't think that there's going to be 50 points put up again. And I think that plays into typically the underdog. Oregon +4 is a line that's going around a lot. It was a tie game in the fourth quarter last time in Eugene. I think that this game is decided by a field goal, whether that's Oregon or Indiana. So I think +4 is a good line if you can still find it.
Yeah. And then for my best bet, I took Oregon first half winner. I expect Oregon to start off hotter than Indiana right off the bat. Again, they just had a bye week against Alabama, so the bye does play a serious role. I'm just kidding, but I do see a world where Indiana wins the toss. They kick to Oregon. Oregon goes out there and has more touches in the first half. They could score. Also, there's also a world where I see Dan winning the kickoff and winning to go out there and punch him in the mouth. I mean,
yeah, I think Oregon's taking the ball on almost every coin toss they've won. So first half winner, first quarter winner is definitely a good bet from you, Brendan.
Yeah. And the other thing is as a fan, if we're like, hey, if Oregon punches them in the mouth, then they might stagger and fall a little bit. Then I would imagine that, he also feels the same way. So I would see first ever good Bjorn take.
Yeah. That's still up in the air. But Moore did have negative 27 rush yards with the sacks last time. I do expect us to be able to handle the simulated pressures a little bit better than last time, as well as Dante has been getting more involved in the option game and the run game as a whole later in the season. So I don't think it will be negative 27 again, but it is still not a surefire bet. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anything else that we need to touch on? Anything else from the fans in chat? But for now, I mean, that's kind of all we've got. I mean, Eastu, he posted on Instagram today and with like some clock emojis. God knows what that means.
Yeah, I don't know if God even knows what that means at this point.
Yeah, Eastu is who knows what he's doing. So hopefully by some miracle he shows up, but he's out, so he's not playing. Yeah.
No, if you want your money back, just put on Oregon +4. That's my best bet. So that is smack.
Yeah. Who is Azamut Matula?
Dude, I must not know ball. I think cricket might be a bigger thing. I think it's the most popular sport in the world. Am I wrong? Because it's soccer, or it's up in the air?
Cricket, actually, it is really popular.
Yeah,
because of the amount of people.
I guess we just don't know ball. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing a cricket player too. All right, Glenn Anna. I got that. I got it that much, but I don't know. I'm just not a cricket ball knower, I guess. So
nope. We are Oregon Ducks live, so we talk about the Oregon Ducks, and unfortunately, we do not have a cricket team here. Coach Shepard is a good hire for Oregon State. Don't know if he is the future, but
yeah, I love Coach Shepard. Actually, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brennan. I actually know their offensive coordinator, Mitch Dolan. He's from Redmond, actually. I think there's a couple of the Redmond boys in the chat. So, yeah, he's a really good guy. I really like what Shepard's done from what I've seen so far. I think that's a great hire for them, and I think that they have the potential to take Oregon State from little brother to middle child. So,
yeah, they're still gonna be little brother though.
Always,
unfortunately. Yeah. Anything else from you guys in chat? If not, me and Brady are looking to sign off. Thank you guys for showing up for this late one. You probably won't have a late one like this again, or we'll try to avoid it just because it's kind of it's late. It's past my bedtime. So
Brandon gets real sleepy now and then, but yeah, I think we'll sign off for the night. Thank you guys so much for those of you who donated. Shout out you guys. Yep. We appreciate you guys all tuning in, and let's go Ducks tomorrow, baby. Let's go.
Let's go Ducks. Yeah, I mean, unless we want to wait on the podcast for another 16 minutes, we can say that we streamed on game day, but I'm good. It's game day in every other time zone in the world, basically. So pick up some cricket.
Yeah. We might have to go down to go down to the cricket cages tomorrow, Brennan.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to Carson Beck Enjoyer and Give Me More Dante for the donations. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We always appreciate you guys commenting.
I will say
it makes it just more fun for us. So
okay, something else I need to note. Andrew Hicks here in the chat 7991 has been talking about Birdie Gilbert eating a full orange on stream. So if the Oregon Ducks win tomorrow and Birdie Gilbert will eat a full orange on stream, and Andrew Hicks has to donate that $5. We are sellouts. We'll do anything tomorrow, for money.
I will throw an entire orange live on stream.
Yes, that's what we love. That's what I like to hear.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right.
Good night, guys.
See you guys in the next one. Appreciate all y'all.